Hope you're doing well. Let me see. This is going to be Wednesday, March 29th, just marching through. Spring's coming. Time for me to get my vegetables planted, beginning here in May. Looking forward to that time. We've got Easter coming soon. Doing a series on Sundays on the word mystery, that as it's used in the New Testament. It's used quite often. Just my glasses. And it does speak of many interesting things that God has kept hidden, but now is revealing very specific aspects of his plan revealed to us individually and as the church. So we'll be going through that. One of the elements that we'll be speaking of this weekend will be a very special aspect of God's plan as it's directed towards us. It has to do with the mystery that God held back when it came to Israel and their relationship with the Gentiles. We'll be speaking of that more this weekend. It's a very interesting portion. But I want to just take a moment and continue with the theme that we spoke of on Monday, this issue of the servants are the hero. Probably there's no better example than what we've been sharing on Wednesday nights. We started with just the reward of just simply being loyal. You know the verse in Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 6. There's many a man that will declare his own loyalty. And the word there is covenant mercy, the word that's used for loving kindness or mercy in the Hebrew. It's used many times. It has kind of a broad connotation, but it's the word that's used to speak of God's commitment to be merciful. So there are many people that say that they're rightly related to God's covenant of mercy. They understand and that they're in right relationship with it. But a faithful man, or a man that lives by the truth that God's revealed, who can find that person? And we use the example of Ruth, who was a Moabite, but she committed herself to Naomi, to go where she was going to go, to live where she was going to live, to die where she died, and to be faithful to her. And we know the story there in the book of Ruth, and we'll be speaking of that more tonight. But as a result of that, God not only favored her, but God actually raised up a heritage to Naomi, who had lost all of her children, and that heritage would ultimately be just a couple of generations away from David himself. And here we have Ruth, who was a Moabite, who wasn't accepted among the people of God, actually being included in the messianic lineage. Think about that. Look, and she became a servant. She just served Naomi, just went out in the fields, and she just gleaned in the fields, and she was just faithful to her. And when Naomi in chapter 3 told her to go and wait until late at night, don't want people seeing it, but you go and you lay at his feet. You dress and you lay at his feet. It's a very interesting scenario, though, and you get up early. Boaz said, get up early. We don't want anybody to see this because it doesn't look good. But she honored. It wasn't sexual, but it just didn't have a good appearance. It's very interesting. But she honored her mother-in-law, and as a result of that, she was included in the heritage, the very lineage of Jesus Christ. Crazy. The servants are the heroes. They always will be the heroes. For you and I and everyone else, it'll always be the servants that are the heroes. We'll be the ones that God, if we choose to just simply live in the heartbeat of Jesus Christ and serve others as he's commissioned us to do, the very mind of Jesus Christ that became a servant, became obedient, Philippians chapter 2 and verse 5 and on through 9, that will be actually our reward, that there'll be a special blessing. And even more than that, as we'll see later on, we'll be delivered from all of the curses that have been so much a part of our in not only environment, but our upbringing. I hope today that you'll just think about being a servant. Didn't Jesus say, I think it's in Matthew chapter 22 and verse 36, the greatest among you will become the servant of all. Isn't that what we should be doing? I think so. Till next time, friends, God bless you.